Good evening, everyone. And welcome to the Town of Fairmount Heights Mayor and Town Council meeting for the month of February, the year 2023. Thank you all for joining us this evening. We will begin by calling this meeting to order.
Can anybody hear us? Do you hear us? Oh, I'm no longer on Zoom. Okay, wait a minute. Let's see. Does anybody else have their earphones or can they hear us?
I don't think so.
Is your mic on?
Yeah, my mic is on. I can hear it from here.
Do you have?
Testing one.
Do you have your phone?
I don't have it on.
Ms. Gladden says she can hear you.
Okay, so mine must be on it. Okay, all right. Thank you very much. We will proceed. At this time, instead of a moment of silence, I would like to read into the record a poem by Yuli K., and it's called Sea Glass. What good is there in an anchor if it has no strength to hold? What good is any story if it remains untold? What good is peace within us if it does not radiate, making sea glass from the riptides and love from threads of hate? What good is climbing mountains if you cannot see the view, or if every aching step you take does not make the you more you? What good is any miracle, those seas that rise and part, if they do not change and rearrange the contents of your heart? What good are we as travelers here at the thin end of our rope if we cannot fall 1,000 times, believing still there is hope? Thank you all very much. Would everyone please stand and join as we do the salute to the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. You may be seated. I'm going to read briefly the meeting rules. I'm not going to read all of the rules, but this is for the benefit of having a smooth and prosperous meeting tonight. The meeting rules, I'm just going to do a summary. First one I'm going to itemize is the town council meetings, which is what we're holding tonight. They're held in the auditorium of the Municipal Center at 7:30 p.m. on the third Wednesday of each month. Special meetings may be called by the clerk of the council upon request of the mayor or a majority of members of the council. Opportunity to be heard. Residents of the town are required to have a reasonable opportunity to be heard at any meeting in regard to any municipal question. I'm going to skip on over to the journal. The council should keep a journal of its proceedings, including all matters passed by the council, including the yeas and nays of any question, resolution, or ordinance. And I'll go to the last page. Citizens desiring to speak to the council must sign in prior to the meeting to provide the presiding official with the information to allow each interested citizen to be called in order. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes each. Thank you very much for abiding by this policy. I did receive another notice this evening. It was from Councilmember White, and it says, as we are working towards improving Zoom quality, please remind the citizens formally at the beginning of the meeting that the meeting is available in physical form where citizens can attend in person, and that minutes are available after meetings as they always were. Thank you all very much. We will go down now to our roll call. Madam Clerk to the council, would you please call the roll?
Yes. Mayor Martin.
Present.
Councilmember Stewart. Present. Councilmember Waiters.
Present.
Councilmember White. Councilmember, let me just go like Councilmember Wood Dodson, I see White is coming in,
Okay.
and Wood Dodson is on the line. Councilmember Barnhart. Present. Councilmember Oscar.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not sure who's on the line.
Okay.
I'm not earphones are not working for whatever reason tonight.
All right. Well, we're going to move on. We have several guests in the house tonight. We want to thank them personally for coming. We have one of our esteemed students here who is a town of Fairmount Heights resident, Mrs. Swan. We want to thank you for coming and what you contribute tonight. Shortly, you'll be getting on down to the section where you have an opportunity to show us what you want to present in memory of Black History Month. And we want to thank our representative from Representative Glenn Ivy's office, Mr. Ethan Sweet. He's the community liaison. Thank you very much, Mr. Sweet, for attending this evening. We appreciate you. All right, we have several sets of minutes here, and we have enough members here to vote these minutes into action. We have minutes from our September the 13th work session, October the 11th work session, October 12th special meeting, October the 9th town meeting, 19th, November 14th work session, November 21st special meeting, December the 21st town meeting, January 10th executive session summary, and January 10th work session. Has everyone had the opportunity to review these minutes?
Yes.
Everyone had the opportunity? Council members?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. And I've had the opportunity also. So at this time, I will accept a motion for approval of these several sets of minutes. We need to get them in the system and get them approved and get them on out. I'll accept the motion.
I'm sorry, Dr. Spain, did you tell me October 12th special meeting is not in here?
It should be. If not, I have copies. This is October.
Oh, I have it, no, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it.
Mm-hmm. I'll accept the motion.
I move that we approve you want me to list them all off, Mayor?
Yes, just read them into the record.
Okay, I make a motion, I'm sorry, to approve September 13th work session, October 11th work session, October 12th special meeting, October 19th town meeting, November 14th work session, November 21st special meeting, December 21st town meeting, January 10th executive session summary, executive session meeting, and January 10th work session.
All right. Thank you very much. May I get a second on that?
A second.
Okay. It's been properly moved and seconded that we approve these several sets of minutes, starting with September the 13th, going down to January the 10th. Are there any questions on the motion?
I can't see it online.
You okay.
I don't know what,
Okay.
I don't know why they're not working tonight.
Okay.
Is there anyone in, do either of you have the headsets?
I don't.
Okay.
Would you like to use my,
Who's online?
Online is Councilwoman with Dodson and Councilwoman.
Open a mic.
okay.
All right,
Is your mic open?
my mic is open.
Sorry, we gotta make it.
Can you ask them to open the mic?
Okay, so Councilwoman.
If they can hear you.
When it's time, Mayor Martin, are you gonna call now? You're gonna call now? Oh, wait.
Look at you, like we at school.
We do that at school. Oh, wait.
Okay, let's see. I need someone to say something in order to hear.
Testing one.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Okay, all right.
Oh, yes, I do.
Okay. All right, great.
Okay. All right, Mayor, you can go ahead and what would you like to
Yes, Madam Clerk, to the council, would you please call the roll?
Yes. Mayor Martin,
Yes.
Councilmember Waiters,
Aye.
Councilmember Stewart,
Aye.
Councilmember White, she said aye. Councilmember Wood Dotson, Councilmember Wood Dotson said aye. Councilmember Barnhart,
Aye.
and Councilmember Oscar. Don't be offended.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. The ayes have it. We're going to move on down. Thank you all very much for approving those minutes. We will move on down to our next item on our agenda is our presentation by Mr. Ethan Sweep from Representative Ivy's office. Would you please come forward, Mr. Sweep? Yes, to the podium is good. Yeah.
Hello, everyone, Mayor, Council. I am Ethan Sweep. I am one of the community liaisons from Congressman Glenn Ivy's office. So I wanted to come here tonight just to introduce myself to all of you, to make sure you know who I am, and let you know that the Congressman's office is here to help with anything that you need. We are here to help you better serve our and your constituents. So feel free to come down and visit us. Our office is at 1101 Mercantile Lane in Largo, Maryland. You can also find that at the bottom of our id.house.gov website. I also want to tell you about our upcoming grants newsletter that is hopefully going to be released next week if all my meetings today are accurate. So that will have information on federal grants that are available. We are also working to get some grant resources and training webinars available to all of you all so you can write better, more competitive grants. We will also be having our community project funding grant application process coming up soon. That is different from the competitive federal grants that are available in that this is done through the House appropriations process. So in the past they were referred to as earmarks, if you had heard that language at all. We are still waiting on guidance from the Appropriations Committee as to what the program will look like and how much money will be available in fiscal year 2024. So we can't get started with it yet until we know what the program is going to look like. But in the meantime, I would love to sit down with you, Mayor, and any council members to talk about large projects that you have in mind for the town and ways that we can maybe get you some of that congressional funding when the time comes. So feel free to email me at any time, stop in for a visit, and I'd be more than happy to talk to you.
Okay.
And I guess while I'm here, if anybody has any questions or anything you want to ask.
Mayor Martin.
Yes.
There is a question in the chat, wanting to know if these the town communication. Someone,
No.
no, that's something else.
No.
Okay, I see.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. First of all, we'd like to thank you for taking the time to come because Congressman Ivy was just elected basically, and so you all are off out of the gate running. We appreciate that. I think it could be beneficial to us because we really need additional help as far as grant writing and trying to get workups for our grants. We need those, and right now, if you have anyone that could help us, we're working seriously on the RAISE grant. I don't know how familiar you are with that.
I think I would have to get myself a little more.
Yes, if you could do a little, whatever, plug in some information. Yeah, the RAISE grant. Okay, we need that in a big way because we're really trying to redo all of our town streets. They've never been redone.
Okay.
We need new streets and new sidewalks.
So this is a Department of Transportation
Yes,
grant?
Department of Transportation grant.
Okay,
Yeah.
that is helpful. So
Yes,
then I
so
can
if you
get
could sort of go online, look that up and see what you could do to help us, it would be a great help.
Yes, absolutely. I can
Yes.
see what I can do on that
Okay.
for you. So
All right.
hopefully get you an answer maybe by the end of the week. So,
Sounds great.
awesome.
Sounds great. All right.
All
Well,
right.
thank you so much for coming.
Thank you all for having
Yeah,
me.
all right, all right.
I don't need to But on the one set of minutes that we did approve,
November 21st.
Was it November 21st?
not the November 21st.
Okay.
The one where it was the summary.
Mm-hmm.
That one must be read into the record.
Okay. You have your copy of it?
Yes.
Would you like to read that summary into the record?
Yes.
Okay, and then we'll move right along. We're getting right to our little special guest here.
These are the summary for January 10th, 2023 for the closed meeting. On Tuesday, January 10th, 2023, 10:23 p.m., there was a motion made by Councilwoman White and seconded by Councilwoman Stewart. All ayes were to close and convene the Town of Fairmount Heights closed session to discuss personnel matters in accordance with the Code 3305B1 and 3305B2. There were 5 who voted: Mayor Martin, Councilwoman White, Councilwoman Wood-Dotson, Councilwoman Barnhart, Councilwoman Stewart. To close, no one abstained. 2 were absent: Councilwoman Raiders, Councilmember Oscar. The public observed the motion to discuss and vote to convene in closed session, both in person and on Zoom. Mr. Barnhart, Mr. White, and Ms. Glad. Motion to convene in a closed session, the discussion of code enforcement duties and compensation, to discuss matters related to a letter concerning hourly rates. After much discussion, a consensus was made to ask the treasurer at a later date about budget allowances to address compensation requests. No action was taken. Motion to adjourn, all ayes. Motion carried, meeting adjourned at 11:37.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that. All right, we're going to move on down. We've come to item number 7 on our agenda, and at this time, we will have a Black History presentation by one of our town residents, and her grandmother is here also to support her. They've been our neighbors since day one down on 60th Avenue. And at this time, Mrs. Najee, make sure I'm getting it right. Najee Swan, would you please come forward? I think this mic is working here. Would you all give us some applause as she comes? Yes.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Najee Swan. I am a junior at Fairmount Heights High School.
We're from the Heights. Yeah, we're from the Heights.
My First Lady, Gail Hawkins from Sylvan Vista Baptist Church, shared this Black History moment with us. It is in the form of a story by Makibra Anderson called "What If There Were No Black People in the World?" One morning, a little boy named Theo woke up and asked his mother, "Mom, what if there were no black people in the world?" His mother thought about that for a moment and then said, "Son, follow me around today and let's just see what it would be like if there were no black people in the world. Now go get dressed and we will get started." Theo ran to his room to put his clothes and shoes. His mother took one look at him and said, "Theo, where are your shoes? Son, I must iron your clothes. Why are they so wrinkled?" When she reached for the ironing board, it was no longer there. You see, Sarah Boone, a black woman, invented the ironing board, and Jan E. Martzillinger, a black man, invented the shoe lacing machine. The shoe lacing machine is a machine that attaches the top of the shoe to the sole. "Oh well," she said, "please go and do something with your hair." Theo ran in his room to comb his hair, but the comb was not there. You see, Walter Sammons, a black man, invented the comb. Theo decided to brush his hair but the brush was gone. Lydia O. Newman, a black female, invented the brush. Well, this was a sight. Theo had no shoes, wrinkled clothes, and his hair was a mess. Even his mom's hair was a mess. See, Madame C.J. Walker was one of the first African-American female entrepreneurs, and she created many hair care products for black women. Mom told Theo, "Let's do our chores around the house and then take a trip to the grocery store." Theo's job was to sweep the floor. He swept and swept and swept. When he reached for the dustpan, it was not there. You see, Lloyd P. Ray, a black man, invented the dustpan. So he swept his pile of dirt over in the corner and left it there. He then decided to mop the floor, but the mop was gone. You see, Thomas W. Stewart, a black man, invented the mop. Theo yelled to his mom, "Mom, I'm not having any luck." "Well, son," she said, "let me finish washing these clothes and we will prepare a list for the grocery store." When the wash finished, she went to place the clothes in the dryer, but it was not there. You see, George T. Sampson, a black man, invented the clothes dryer. Mom asked Theo to get a pencil and some paper to prepare their list for the market, so Theo ran for the paper and pencil but noticed that the pencil lead was broken. Well, he was out of luck because John Love, a black man, invented the pencil sharpener. Mom reached for a pen, but it was not there because William Purvis, a black man, invented the fountain pen. As a matter of fact, Lee Burridge, another black man, invented the typewriting machine, and W.A. Leavitt, another black man, invented the advanced printing press. Theo and his mother decided to head to the market. Well, when Theo opened the door, he noticed the grass was almost 5 feet tall. You see, the lawnmower was invented by John Burr, a black man. They made their way over to the car and found that it just wouldn't go. You see, Richard Spikes, a black man, invented the automatic gear shift, and Joseph Gamble invented the supercharged system for internal combustion engines. Without these, the car wouldn't work. Gamble was also a black man. They noticed that the few cars that were moving were running into each other and having wrecks because there were no traffic signals. You see, Garrett A. Morgan, a black man, invented the traffic light. Well, it was getting late, so they walked to the market, got their groceries, and returned home. Just when they were about to put away the milk, eggs, and butter, they noticed that the refrigerator was gone. You see, John Standard, a black man, invented the refrigerator. So they just left the food on the counter. By this time, Theo noticed he was getting mighty cold. Mom went to turn up the heat. However, Alice Parker, a black female, invented the heating furnace, so they did not have no heat. Even in the summertime, they would have been out of luck because Frederick Jones, a black man, invented the air conditioner. It was almost time for Theo's father to arrive home. He usually took the bus, but there was no bus. Buses came from the electric trolleys, which were invented by another black man, Albert R. Robinson. He usually took the elevator from his office on the 20th floor, but there was no elevator because Alexander Miles, a black man, invented the elevator. He also usually dropped off the office mail at a nearby mailbox, but it was no longer there because Philip Downing, a black man, invented the letter drop mailbox, and William Burry, another black man, invented the post marketing and canceling machine, which is how we get stamps. Theo and his mother sat at the kitchen table with their head in their hands. When the father arrived, he asked, "Why are you sitting in the dark?" Why? Because Lewis Howard Latimer, a black man, invented the filament within the light bulb. Without the filament, a light bulb won't turn on. Theo quickly learned what it would be like if there were no black people in the world. Daily life would be a lot more difficult, not to mention if we were ever sick and needed blood. Charles Drew, a black scientist, found a way to preserve and store blood, which led to his starting the world's first blood bank. And what if a family member had to have heart surgery? This would not have been possible without Dr. Daniel Hale Williams, a black doctor who performed the first open heart surgery. You don't have to wonder, like Theo, what the world would be like without African Americans. It's clear. Life as we know it would be very different. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good stuff.
We appreciate it. Yes, indeed. All that good information. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Keep on doing what you're doing.
Wow.
And tell the old Fairmount Heights crew hello. Because, you know, they know. They already know. I talked to Mr. Mario Williams last week. You have any classes for Mr. Williams? Mario.
But I have seen him around the school.
Yes, he's a fixture. Yes. All right, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming. Thanks to your grandmother for bringing you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wait, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. Yes, indeed. We're going to move on down. And Chief, thank you for all that you did earlier today. We can always come back to you. Mr. Pickney, I haven't seen.
Mr. Pickney's not a little under the weather.
Is he? Yeah. Okay. Well, we can actually read his report into the record. I think that would be good if we could do that. You have it. Councilmember Stewart, would you like to read his report into the record? The one he gave us last night.
Yeah.
Okay.
February 2023, to the Mayor, Council, and residents. I'm sorry. This is Mr. Pickney Code Enforcement's report. During this period, we issued 3 civil citations totaling $2,250, and we have collected $2,500 from 1 issued citation. The District Court of Maryland for Prince George's County postponed 2 cases against Auto Glass and Acosta Rodriguez, the owner of 905 Eastern Avenue, allowing him time to obtain legal counsel. The total of their cases is $2,000. Building permits for the month of February, there were 2 building permits issued totaling $750. Business license for the month of February, we issued 1 totaling $417. Rental license for the month of February, we renewed 0 rental license. Vacant lot fees for the month of February, we have not received any vacant lot fee fees. Stop work order, 0 for the month of February. Notice of corrective action for the month of February, we have issued 4 corrective action notices for various violations. 2 of the violations have been corrected. Miscellaneous. In his December report, he stated our Public Works Department had boarded up a vacant property located at 707 61st to prevent homeless individuals from trashing the property. On February 9th, the new maintenance company that is servicing this property contacted his office. I have forwarded that information to our treasurer in the hopes of recouping the funds we spent to purchase materials that were needed to board the property. He would like to publicly thank the residents for giving him information to help keep the town in compliance. One resident told us about the installation of a chain link fence, which was over the required height for someone to install. The second resident told us about the U First truck that has been parked on their street several times soliciting transgender persons off Eastern Avenue. They took the number off the truck and called the corporation, the corporate office in California. Since then, she has not been seen. Some of our residents have inquired about residential parking since a lot of outer state tags are showing up on our residential streets. And then he also included a breakdown of everything he said in his report. That concludes Mr. Pinckney's public code enforcement report.
All right. Thank you very much, council member.
No problem.
All right. Chief, I can come back to you, or you want to come on?
I'm
Come
ready.
on. Okay,
I'm ready.
okay.
Good evening, everybody. I'm just gonna follow up on my report from yesterday that I gave on the town's work session, and I just had two things I wanted to add that I forgot to add in yesterday. One is a donation of Narcan that was donated to the town, to the police department for the citizens or the staff here. We have 2 boxes, which consist of 12 individual boxes of Narcan in each box. So I have one here in the main area, but I believe Ms. Tucker may have know exactly where it's at here. Then we have one on the police department side. I've also reached out to retired Lieutenant Alvin Lyde, who's a training coordinator formerly of the Prince George's County Sheriff's Office, and to come in and do some training here with the council, the mayor, and any other town members who want to go through the Narcan training. At this time, with the fentanyl and crisis that's going on and the opioid crisis that's going on, I think it's very important that we all get the training because it could be something as innocent as somebody wanting to experiment with marijuana or something like that and have no idea what's in it. And it could be something that could be life-threatening. So if we have access to the Narcan and we know how to properly use it, we could properly save a life. So I have been reaching out to get some more, but right now we have 24 individual boxes here in Town Hall, which is a great start for us. Okay. So I just also want to touch up a little bit on the Blue Line Corridor meeting that I just attended. I had to leave, but I think it's something, if it does not conflict with the town hall meetings or the work sessions, that not only the citizens here in Fairmount Heights need to attend, but the council and the mayor, just to hear what's going on so we can see if somehow we can get a seat at the table. Because right now, from what I'm hearing, you know, all of the main people on that corridor is the only people being mentioned. But this is something that we need to probably sit down with possibly Jazz Lewis and Senator Benson about how can we get a seat at the table, because it's over $400 million that's being dumped into this project to run up and down Central Avenue and bleeding into the towns, which is Sea Pleasant, which is our neighbor, which means that we should be able to tap into some of that money to better the citizens and the people who live in Fairmount Heights. So we have to come up with a plan that we can go in and we can request a meeting with those two, or Mrs. Also Brooks's contact folks that, and let them know that we need a seat at the table. Your good friend, the mayor of Capitol Heights, before I left, she had a very powerful message to send to the county about not leaving out the small towns. And I'm sure that she'll give you a call and have a conversation about it, but it left me shaking my head because she had passion for it, and she just saying we keep getting left behind. So as a group, everybody can get together. You guys are the leaders of the town, but make the contact so we can make sure that they understand that we went in on this project. So outside of that, that's it for my report. Any questions for me? I was only there for an hour and 15 minutes. I had to leave. Yes, ma'am.
I don't have a question, but I do have a comment, just to reiterate the part of the report last night. I just have a comment to say that the mayor and I'm Chair Economic Development, are working on some sort of roundtable to get that information.
Okay.
We don't have anything to give you right now for the council, but we are working on it.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think once they understand and see where we're coming from and hear from the members here and some of the citizens who call in on the Zooms and everything else, about just having a seat at the table. We're asking for a piece of the pie over here. I mean, it don't have to be the biggest slice of the pie, but we want a slice.
Yeah.
So I just think that's important. And with you all's leadership, I know that this job can get done and getting some of that money. So,
Okay.
thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
Yes,
Thank you
ma'am.
very much, Chief.
I don't have a question, I also have a comment. Since you came on as our chief, I pointed out a couple of problem areas I saw throughout the community during our first initial ride-along. And one of them was on the street that Ms. Colbert and Mr. Delaney Colbert and Ms. Baker live on.
J Street.
J Street, that's
Okay,
the name.
J Street.
Thank you. Where all those cars were parked
Yes.
up and down that street. You came out, I guess you wrote a few tickets. I rode through there the other day. I only see one car out there now.
Oh, okay.
So,
Well,
Okay.
keep it up. Keep up
Thank
the
you.
job.
That's the idea, just to let them know and understand. This is something that we're not targeting people, but we do have to make sure they understand that it has to be fair for everybody in the town.
Right.
So with the street being cluttered, with it being almost impassable, and you're not legally parked or legally registered, then I'm on them. So
Yeah.
Thank you.
as long as they know it and understand respectfully,
Right.
I'm gonna do the right thing. So.
Okay.
Thank you,
All
Chief.
right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes. Okay. Appreciate that, Chief. Ms. Zarumi, would you like to come forward now?
My report is going to be very brief.
Okay.
And I can tell you.
All right. All right.
My report is very, very brief.
Okay. You can come to the podium because you can't, he's not gonna pick you up if you're not.
Good afternoon, or good evening, citizens, mayor, council, and everybody who's online. My report is very brief. What I did put before you, and I had mentioned last night in my report, I omitted page 3. So I revised it and included page 3. If you see my report again, I included page 3. And the reason that it was so important, because I did talk to you last night about 504 Eastern Avenue, known as the Pittman House Historic Site, of Mrs. Upshur, owner of 504 Eastern Avenue, who expressed an interest in selling her property. And so I did talk about that last night. The only other thing that I want to talk about is I want to talk about the Central Avenue Blue Line Corridor. As you may recall, back in June of 2022, with the help of then Chief Ivy and others, I did update and rewrote the Blue Line Corridor. Yes, you do have a seat at the table. If you go through that report, you will see, I thought you had a copy of it. Did you have a copy of it today? If you go through that report, you will see all of the projects and programs that we underlined and talked about for the Central Avenue Corridor. You can go online, Google Central Avenue Blue Line Corridor, and you can get a complete copy of the report. That's all I have to say tonight.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay.
Okay, thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Rumi. Okay. Yes, Ms. Walker?
Yes.
Okay.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and citizens. Mayor and Council, you have my report that I presented last night, and I presented to the council the updated profit and loss as of the end of January 2023, and our total revenue as of the end of January is $1,024,325. Our total expenses, $532,205, which is a net income of $492,121. At the meeting last night, I also updated you on the status of the purchase of the vehicle for Public Works. I did send to you today the financing quote. I don't know the decision of the council, mayor and council at this time. However, I will read into the record that the financing quote number 102697 to purchase a 2022 Ford F-250. The purchase price would be $44,704. To finance it for 60 months at 8.49%, be a monthly payment of $910.51. Mayor and council voted to purchase and not finance a spreader as well as a plow. The cost for the spreader would be between $5,500 and $6,070. It just depends upon which width we want. I mean, which spreader. The cost of the spreader would be between $5,500 and $6,070. It depends upon which one we want. If we want the poly, which is like a very hard plastic, or if we want the stainless steel. The cost of the plow, depending upon if we want the 8-foot or the 8.5-foot, would be $7,350 or $7,450. So again, I sent the quote today, and once you all make a decision if you want to go with the financing, then we will be able to either move forward with this one or go with a different vehicle. As we move into the budget, I did get the information for the constant yield. I will read that into the record. I do want to remind the mayor and council that we have purchased the 2 new vehicles for the police department. We are purchasing a new vehicle for the Public Works Department. We have several vehicles that are part of our fleet right now that are inoperable. They're no longer, they have very little value. I will work with Chief to identify those vehicles that we should remove from our inventory, remove from our insurance. It would save us some money. We did have one citizen that expressed a desire to purchase one of the vehicles that is still an operable vehicle. And I think that that's something that you all should entertain, that request to purchase that one vehicle. I also did receive from the chief and Mr. Pinckney the suggested location for 2 flashing stop signs. That would be at 59th and Veterans Parkway. 2 signs, one facing east, one facing west. Also at Jost and Balsam Tree. And then 2 do not enter signs that will be flashing at Eastern Avenue and 61st Avenue, also at 60th Avenue and Josh Street. So those are the locations, a recommendation from Chief Moore as well as Mr. Pinckney.
Those are just recommendations, so. Okay.
Yes, just recommendations.
Okay.
All righty. Last night, we found out that we did get our constant yield information. Remind you, the constant yield, the rate right now is 43 cents per $100 of assessed value. In order to receive the same that we're receiving this year, the estimated income, if we were to keep at 43 cents, we would receive additional income. So even though you don't change, if you were not to change it, if you say, well, we're going to keep it at 43 cents, that's considered a tax increase. And so you have to have a tax hearing unless you set the rate at 40 cents, which is the constant yield, then you would not have to have a tax hearing. So we will go over this again, but as a mayor and council, you all have to talk and decide, are you recommending that you keep the tax rate where it is? If you do, then we will have to have a tax hearing. If you do not, if you say, well, we're going to roll it back to the constant yield, which will give you an estimate, it's estimated to give you the same revenue that we received this year, which we were budgeted to receive $554,000 this year. So it would give you about the same income if you rolled it back. But if you kept it where it is, and I'll get that calculation, it would give you more income. So again, that's definitely something that you have to decide, because in order to have to be in compliance, there's guidelines when we have to have the meeting, how many days we have to post it, guidelines for what the advertisement has to be. And one of the things that this year we have to get correct is the notice cannot go in the legal section or the classified section. If it does, It says, failure to follow the guidelines may result in your jurisdiction being required to publish additional advertisements or roll back its proposed real property tax rate to the constant yield tax rate. Last year, they gave us grace because I didn't know it was in the legal section. I don't believe Ms. Tucker knew it was in the legal section. So they gave us grace. But we can't make that mistake again.
So where does it go in the paper? Under what section?
It doesn't tell us. I will find out
So
where.
we're not asking for front page, right?
No,
No.
I'll find out where it's supposed to go. It doesn't say where it has to go. I will confirm that. The gentleman who we always work with, Zachary Grissard, he is very responsive and very helpful. So I will make sure that we get it in the right section. If you all decide that you do not want to roll it back to the 40 cent. So Mayor, the only action item that again I have would be the quote for you all to decide if you want to move forward with the vehicle. If so, then this is the quote and we can move forward after that. Okay? All right. Thank you.
Thank you. All right,
Yes, ma'am.
Councilmember Stewart.
Yesterday you mentioned that we have 3 positions that we can hire for.
So for 2023, in the planned positions, there was an admin position under the administration department. There was an admin position in the police department, and then the other positions that were in the police department. But the chief has already filled, I believe, 2 of those positions. So
And
admin,
Public Works.
police, and then the public
Yeah.
works supervisor. Yes,
Okay. All right, I just wanted to be sure I heard that correctly.
yes.
Right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay. All right, thank you very much, Ms. Walker. Thank you all very much for all of our staff reports here. We're going to move on down. We have, under old business, we have an issue that needs to be resolved, and we talked about this in work session last night. It is a memorandum that was put out on April 17, 2021, and there's been some confusion about the duties and the description, the way it was given out, and we want to give clarity on this as far as getting this removed, stricken, or tabled until another date, at which time we will have our personnel policy is going to be, the final update that had been recommended to us will be done, but we want to have it so that our clerk to the council has a clear description of her duties, and it's listed here under the job description. This job description, that is her duty. We don't want any connection to this employee guideline sheet that was published on April 17, 2021. Now, I don't know whether we're going to need to read this complete guidelines into the record. We can. It's not a problem. But if you don't feel it's necessary, we don't really have to put it in. We just need the date and to say that it's a memorandum to Fairmount High staff, and there was some discrepancy about it, and we want to get this removed from that process until at what time we get the revisions and all this information is put into our Fairmount Heights personnel policy.
May I speak, Madam Mayor?
So, yes, you may.
Are you done?
I'm done, because until I can get a motion, I'm finished for now.
So, per last night's discussion, and you just spoke that the clerk to the council, and we do have a description of what she's supposed to do, and that was it. But we did have reservations for those guidelines that were being used with some pending signatures, so update, and Councilmember Barnhart had some concerns, as well as I, if some of these things that are listed may be applicable to staffing, so it needs further discussion.
Okay, so as far as, what are we going to do with this per se?
Am I right? Did we recommend revision?
But we did say that we were going to table this until at what time we could actually put it into a complete policy. It would be
Right.
relevant for every employee.
Right, I'm just saying for
So-
clarity, is that what we're, I'm sorry, Madam Mayor, I'm just on last
Okay.
conversation.
I want to vote it out. I don't want to vote it out. I want it to go in the employee handbook.
Mhm.
With revision?
What if yeah, with revision, but it should be
Yeah.
added to the employee handbook for all employees,
For
not
all
just
employees.
one employee.
Yeah,
Okay, I just want to be clear on, okay.
okay. So at this time, I will accept a motion.
I'll accept oh, I'm sorry, I make a motion. Oh, gosh. I am so sorry. I make a, wait. Per your request, Madam Mayor, for a motion, I make a motion that we table the employee guidelines for revision
Okay. All right.
and input for
And
consideration.
can you put the date and the, the year and all that?
The memorandum dated April 17, 2021, to Fairmount Heights staff from the mayor and council, RE, employee guidelines, not to be read in public record, but to reference the document that is now being tabled for revision. And per Councilmember Stewart's concern, insertion into the employees' personnel manual,
Personal handbook.
handbook.
Yes, may I get a second on that?
A second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded that the memorandum that was actually written April 17th, the year 2021, and it was in the employee guidelines, that it be tabled for revision until at what time it can be merged into the Fairmount Heights updated personnel policy.
May I speak once more? Madam Mayor,
Yes.
for clarity. So we do have a description of what the council is supposed to be doing? Okay. And we're clear?
Yeah, okay. All right. Are there any other questions on the motion? If there are no questions, Madam Clerk, to the council, would you please call the roll?
Yes. Mayor Martin,
Aye.
Councilmember Stewart,
Aye.
Councilmember White. Missing she's here.
Okay,
She said aye.
okay.
Councilmember Wood Dotson.
So we can't hear them, because we're not on Zoom.
I cannot hear it all.
Oh, I have my, wait, hold on. Nope, nope.
Don't need your mic on. I mean,
Okay.
on your-
She asked me, could I hear? I can't.
So the question, Mayor Martin, is this with, and make sure I'm saying it correct, with the revision so that the clerk to the council can remain in the duties where she is? Is that the question, Councilwoman Wood Dotson?
Can I answer?
I'll answer because she asked.
Council-
Okay.
Okay, the mayor's answer.
Okay, yes. This has nothing to do personally with whoever's in the clerk's to the council position. We're just saying that the document, the memorandum itself will be tabled until at what time it can be revised and it can become a part of the official personnel handbook for all employees.
Did you hear that? Okay. Can you hear me?
I cannot hear at
Okay,
all.
so her question there,
Uh-huh.
wait a minute, if I open this, Mr. Gray, is it gonna make that sound? If I open this so she can hear it?
You should be able
Yeah.
to.
Okay, so I'm gonna, so you can hear it. Let me know if it messes up, Mr. Gray, because I can't hear. I can't hear Mr. Gray, so you have to let me know if it's gonna mess up, okay? All right. Okay, Councilwoman Wood Dotson, will you speak now?
My question is, that is written as far as a job description for the clerk to the council is to remain as it is until that you're speaking that's being tabled until revision is clarified for the handbook.
One has nothing to do with the other.
Yeah, okay.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm
yes,
asking.
yes.
That isn't-
The description for the clerk to the council remains the same.
All right, that's all.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Okay, all right. All right,
Should I call her name again?
yes, call her.
Okay, Councilwoman
Volume down.
Dodson.
Turn volume down. Turn your volume down.
Councilwoman with Dodson.
Take it out and turn your volume down.
Oh, hold on. Hold on, Councilwoman. Wait a minute. They can hear you now. Go ahead.
What I'm saying is that is written for you as the clerk to the council with the 20 hours that you're to work.
That's much information.
And that is written with the job descriptions. You can answer the phone but can't answer the question. Is that compliant?
For clarity, we will give you the description of the clerk of the council. Councilmember Dodson has a copy of that. For clarity, the motion is to table the guidelines. I'm sorry, I'm not finished, Madam Point of correction. I'm trying to give her
Okay,
information.
okay, I think, let me see what else. Is there anything else, Councilmember Wood Dodson? She's not on the line now.
She comes on.
Okay. Okay. Did she give you her, she give you her vote?
Yes. Councilwoman Dodson.
I abstain. Thank you.
Okay, all right. All right. Is there anyone else who wants to vote?
And the last person, Councilwoman Barnhart.
My only question is this memorandum going to be removed from her file? Or whoever file this is actually in? So this is voided out completely?
Everybody, it's tabled, yeah. Until, that was the statement that I made. It would be tabled until at what time we can do revisions, and then as we do the revisions, it'll become a part of the personnel booklet for each member of this, any employee. It will be part of the personnel handbook, but it needs to be revised. So because of the fact that there were some things that were mentioned that could be applicable, it will still be revised, but that's not, yeah, that is what it.
That's the only reason why I'm asking. I
Yeah.
just want to remove whoever signed this document is voided out.
Yeah,
So,
that's
okay.
not, yeah,
That's my
because
only
it'll
question.
be tabled out,
Okay.
yeah, okay.
Well,
They will receive the revised copy with.
that's what I'm asking, because I'm,
Yeah, the new, once we edit and let's say approve the new copy, then everybody gets an updated insert that they must have probably signed for. And I don't want to go much further, but I think the confusion is this, we said last night, has nothing to do with, Dr.
Dr.
Span anymore, because we clarified that last night. And that's what I was trying to tell her. It has nothing to do with her. Hers is off the table. It's not applicable to her anymore, because we have her description clerk to the council.
got you.
For
But
the
is
other
it still in her
employees,
file? That's the question.
it comes out. It's not applicable to her
Okay,
anymore.
good. I just
Right.
wanted to come out her file.
But the other employees,
Uh-huh.
until we revise it, I think Councilmember Stewart's was concerned with some of this may be applicable to other employees, so it needs to be revised.
Okay,
That's the vote.
okay.
Revised and added to
To the employee
employee
personnel
personnel
policy.
handbook, yes.
her position is not a part of the
No, I
motion.
just wanted to remove that.
Okay,
Yeah,
out
I
of
think
her.
Councilmember
Yeah.
Dodson is misunderstanding that
Yeah.
part.
Okay, well, I really don't know.
It's okay.
And
Aye.
okay, that's great, that's
So
great.
It's her vote.
Okay, so your vote was?
Aye.
Aye, okay,
So I can go back to Councilwoman,
okay. White.
Councilwoman, did I do something? I think I thought I did, Councilwoman. Let me just say it, Mr. Burton. I gotta go through my.
She did. What's his name?
Councilwoman
Oscar's
White.
not here.
And Councilwoman Woodruff.
Yeah. Okay,
All
all right. Okay, well, thank you very much. The ayes have it. There was one abstention. We have one member that's not present anyway, so that's everyone. Thank you very much. We'll make sure that that particular document from the 17th is removed out. Okay. Okay, we don't have any new business for tonight. I'm going to go on down to my report. I have several items I want to mention. One is a notice that came yesterday from Crown Castle. I don't know whether anyone is actually familiar, but there are two locations where I received a notice saying Crown Castle, a fiber LLC company out of Columbia, Maryland. They are in the process of expanding and improving their wireless network throughout Maryland, and they plan on putting the wireless antennas at 5900 Edison Road and 6500 Joplin Street. So they wanted us to be aware of it. They have a number here. If you have any concerns or questions, you can contact them at pgcpermitting@crowncastle.com. This is their contact number for anyone who needs to, but you can make a copy of this. This is the one here with Joplin Street, and there's another one. The second one is going to be on 5900 Addison Road. Okay, so those two. You want that, Ms. Walker? That's it for you? Okay, okay. And also, day before yesterday, we received a notice from the Department of Agriculture for our mosquito control program. This year, we will be having an increase in our price. Our price has gone up $350 for them to spray for mosquitoes. We know that it's a project that everyone normally wants to have our town sprayed because we have so many low-lying areas. So if it's the will of the council, we will go and move forward. It's still in the envelope here, but that is the price this year. It's $16.50. Now, as you all know, they have a contact number here, so if you detect a heavy concentration of mosquitoes, there's a number to call. Stormy Daniels is the contact person.
Not that.
What you said?
Stormy, that's the other lady's name. Ooh, that number is in my mind. Wait a minute. Her name is Stormy. Oh my God, that lady. That is horrible. I had called that lady by the wrong, Stormy Keys. Woo! When I saw that Stormy, it just registered Daniel. You all can please, please, if you need to contact her, we have the number for her. But she also has her email address that's here, so if anyone needs to get that, you all can get in contact with her. I just wanted everyone to know that our price will be more expensive this year. It's $1,650. Yes.
Is that every time they spray or for the whole summer?
Throughout the whole summer.
Okay.
Yeah, and they give the dates. Now, I called off the dates last night, as a matter of fact. They'll be spraying beginning May 31st and going through September 27th.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's a service that everybody, normally the town members, everybody requests it because I think they've noticed a difference when they do spray and from times that they haven't. Yeah, so people request it. So there we are right there on that. Okay, I also had noted the Blue Line Corridor meeting, and Chief, where did Chief go?
He stepped out.
Thank him for going to that meeting because anything that we can do, I've been going to previous meetings and they had Fairmount Heights, Capitol Heights, and Sea Pleasant working together. And on Friday, I went over to Hyattsville. They invited us to like a little coffee evening over in Hyattsville. And all the three communities, well, two of us were there, and the other one she said she couldn't make it. But we are working religiously together so that whatever comes out for information for one is going to be able to fall back, piggyback on us. And remember that, we are listed for the circuit rider. And the circuit rider, we're working with Capitol Heights this time. The information has already gone forward, so we're just waiting to get the final word for the Department of Housing and Community Development. Hopefully we'll be able to have something in place. They said in March they will let us know what the other timelines are, so that's on its way. We're looking forward to that. Tomorrow I have an interview with a student from Eleanor Roosevelt High School. She called me randomly. She said she ran across my number online, and she was interested in talking to me. She wants to talk about food deserts, and I have a lot I can tell her about that. I assume she's going to be interviewing me during her class period. She says she has this particular class between 11 and 12, so she's going to call me about 11:30. I'm going to do a line interview with her. So I think that's rather interesting. Last night we talked about planning for the Women's Month celebration. That's something that we've had here. We've had Black History programs, we've had Women's History. The pandemic cut us back, but last year, either way, we had online programs, and they were even nice. So this time, the Women's History program is scheduled for the 26th of March. It's on a Sunday, and it's at 3:00 p.m. You'll be getting more information coming out very soon concerning that. I do have one final notice here about the Miss HBCU Teen Pageant. And while we were out getting coffee on Friday, there was a person that was working on this. I guess he was the organizer or administrator. It's the Miss HBCU Teen Pageant. It's going to be March the 4th, 2023. It's at Bowie Center for the Performing Arts. And they don't have a price or anything here, but they do have the website. You go to www.misshbcuteen.com to find out more information. So if anyone is interested in that, please go to that website. I think that's going to do it for me for this evening. And I'm going to go straight to the council members. I'm going to start with you, Councilmember Waits, because you're right here. Yes, ma'am. So you might as well get started.
I can go.
No, she can go first. She can go first, and then because I'll do you all. Then we'll get the people online, and we'll be straight.
I'm going to try to make it as brief as I can.
Okay.
Mrs. Rumi, we shared with us economic development. I don't want to repeat the Blue Line corridor anymore, but let's just talk about that money, $4.6 million. With economic development, we mentioned before that the need for the council, mayor and council, to approve or to at least initiate hiring a consultant to develop a master plan. With reservation for the pending meetings that Mayor Martin, you just mentioned, and having these conversations, some of those conversations may result in just that development, but we do still need to consider hiring a consultant. Want to move down to, we talked about annexation, but I don't want to talk about that right now. I do want to share the external economic development drivers that were mentioned in her report, which are close in close proximity. Whole Foods, Amazon, DC government, the circulated bus, who has, I think, parking lots around here, surprisingly, in Maryland. And let's not forget Metro. Mr. Rumi gave each of us copies of these books as a part of our planning, and some of the questions that come forth with Mr. Barnhart, and some concerns. Here is the house, which is a pattern book for Fairmount Heights, Maryland. Here's a residential facade, property investment, that's for our historic properties. Here is Fairmount Heights historic properties that we need to review in terms of economic development with the real estate and/or opportunities that we entertain. I mentioned the census, and I won't go too far into it. I'll try not to, but I do want to point out a few things. I was able to download a copy, and I'll email it too. the council. But last night I spoke about our population, races, and the majority, household income. But I also found that we talk about transportation and issues and speed humps. In that same report, you'll see in transportation and people that go to work is 32%, is 67% that drive to work, which means, again, we have things that we need to talk about at a high level. So I would like to present these numbers to the council, this report to the council, because we drove that census effort in the community, and for me, this is how you use it to plan. I mentioned last night also the student learning hours that are needed for middle school students. 8 hours are required for them to graduate before and June 2023. Prince George's County Democratic Central Committee will meet here June the 20th, 2023. We're discussing planning, and I won't steal the thunder from Councilmember Barnhart, the bicycle rodeo, and I'll let her elaborate on that. We mentioned Historic Preservation Committee, which will be a subcommittee of economic development. And I think last, I'll probably forget something, but for Miss Swan that performed for us tonight, I'd like to request the mayor and council to prepare a certificate of appreciation. Because you know, you have my teacher stuff coming out right now. When you have somebody come before you and they do that, you know, you just have to show them some kind of appreciation. She did so well. It would encourage others to come forth and do well, and I mean, just a certificate of appreciation to show. We thanked her, but if the mayor and council would agree.
I was thinking the same thing.
How about we add a $25 gift card too?
Maybe she could re-administer the street program.
Yep.
Yeah, that would be good. That'd be good.
Madam Mayor, I think that's it for just the summer. Oh, wait, I have my books. Councilmember, y'all know I'm historical. Councilmember White asked me to bring my project book, so Chief, emergency management. That's it.
Okay, I have a question.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Waiters. So the consultant that would develop the master plan, is that an attorney, a land use attorney, which?
I think it's one of the same. Ms. Syfax always asks for, I think she's on the line, a land use attorney. I think it's, one is logistic and the other one is just consulting to get your RFP or interest in people to work on you with development, written plans for, strategic plans for.
Okay, so how soon can we move on?
Are those plans still over there?
But how soon can we move on finding this person? How soon can we move on finding this person?
Find out, talk to, first solidify the decision and talk to council.
I don't need to see that. I didn't need to see that.
Ms. Walker, about,
Finding
the contract, yes.
Okay,
Yeah, a request for.
okay. That's all I wanted to know, is if they're one and the,
Statement of work will come first.
right, I was just wondering if they're one and the same.
Yeah, so, I do want to, and I always say this, these are plans that were presented to us by the University of Maryland. So we already had cost and, other things, and I think there's one that's favorable. I'm just going to remind you which one, I think it's this one that's favorable. I don't remember, but there are numbers here.
It's
for
the one with the
populations.
William Sidney. It has a black end to
Some
it.
of it's housing and some of it's mixed use, and
Yeah,
I think it's this one right here.
okay.
So this is more housing, and we trying to move on. This is more housing and this mixed use, you have to decide whether you want housing, whether you want mixed use, but these are presented plans, don't have to go with this, but it's a start. 4.6? Yeah, but this now says it's something.
Right, that's why I was asking, how soon can we get this consultant going to create this master plan book for us?
Okay.
I have one more thing, you want to go with Chief, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know where this keeps, I'm just gonna put it in your ear, and I think it may be Public Works. It may be Public Works, but I saw some trash, a lot of trash along, a little past Hip Hop Chicken.
Okay.
A bunch of containers, like somebody was moving, and trash bags. It looks like somebody was set out. It looked like they may have cleaned the woods out. I don't know, but it's a lot.
Oh, boy.
I just wanted to mention that. I just saw it this evening.
Okay.
I'm done.
Okay. Thank you. All right, Councilmember Barnhart.
You wanna go?
No, you can go.
Okay. Just have a few things. First and foremost, the Summer Youth Enrichment Program offers youth and young adults the ages of 14 to 22 the enriching and constructive summer work experiences in the community, organizations, private sector companies, and the government agencies. Applications will be open and accepted from March 1st to March 31st. You can also go online and follow them on social media at PGCSEYP. Either it's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, opportunities. How old will you be on June 1st? Select the programs for the appropriate ages from like 14 to 15, 16 to 17, and 18 to 22. Opportunities will be available by March 1st. So that's speaking for all the youth that needs jobs this summer. Also, Extreme Teens Understanding African American and Afro-Latino History and Culture is having a free expo at Rolling Crest Chillum Community Center February 24th from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Also, Saturday, February 25th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., Black History Month Family Festival at the Prince George's County Sports and Learning Complex. All ages is free. Last but not least, Sunday, February 26th, 4 p.m., Heritage Signature Choir at the Public Playhouse. Tickets are $30 per person, $20 per senior, students and groups 20 or more. Speak about the Fairmount Heights Day, what they call May Day. We haven't scheduled a date just yet. The council, Fairmount Heights Council, the town council, is supposed to be all working together. We're also going to include the bicycle rodeo, safety rodeo with the town of Fairmount Heights, with the Fairmount Heights Day. And that's all for my report.
Okay, thank you very much. Councilmember Stewart?
Yes, thank you, Mayor and Council. As I said yesterday, with the Town of Fairmount Heights Utility Assistance Program, we started with $30,000. We have approximately $5,274 left. If you have not submitted your application, please do so as soon as possible. So one of our residents who received money for the utility program, she wrote us a letter, and I would like to read that into record. She did not want me to say her name because she wanted to remain anonymous.
Right.
So it says, "Hello, fellow people. Although I choose to remain anonymous for the sake of my privacy, I did not want to fall short on expressing my gratitude, especially when it's most deserving. I'm not sure about the rest of you, but COVID has certainly taken a hit on different areas of my life, but not everyone has offered to help. Only those who lost their jobs or dealt with something extreme. The government gave a few checks here and there, if qualified. They didn't think about the individuals who had to take in families or give money from their home to help family and friends stay afloat. The system is made to keep individuals down and the people who don't qualify struggling. Nonetheless, it's a huge blessing when the town of Fairmount Heights offered a utility assistance program. Since COVID, I've had to open my door at least to three different families for short periods of time. Unfortunately, this resulted in my bills going up. Yes, it would be easy for people to say, make them pay, but how if they came to me because they lost their jobs? Anyway, a little bug. By the grace of God, everyone is doing good and striving, but it left me in a situation where I was playing catch up for quite some time now and struggling to do so. I don't qualify for food stamps or other state assistance, but it doesn't mean I'm okay. I have been living paycheck to paycheck like most people trying to make ends meet. Nonetheless, tiny little backstory of why this opportunity to receive this help with no stipulations was an open window to a cloudy, dusty room. It gave me some relief and a little hope. I was due for my power to be terminated, and this program came right on time. And then another issue happened with the United States Postal Service, was having delays causing the time to become closer and closer to my shut-off date. I called Councilwoman Stewart and explained to her my situation, and she did not fall short for going the extra mile to make sure I, just me, was okay. It meant a lot for her to take the initiative to do this program for the town of Fairmount Heights. I appreciate her and the town. Anonymously grateful.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Right.
So I end this by saying, there are people in our community, like when that gentleman came and spoke to us, that are in dire need. So we still have some money left, that other $30,000. The council needs to really look at a way we can really help, figure out a way to help the community. I know we said to do minor repairs, but we might need to reallocate it to another program to help out more of our residents out. And that's all I have. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, I'm going to go to, if any of the people are still on the line, there's Councilmember White and Councilmember Wood Dodson. If they, you can take Wood Dodson first and then White. That's fine. Okay. Is she on? Okay. All right. Well, what we will do, we will move to the line. Were there any questions in the chat, or we'll now go to public participation? I guess we could just get Mr. Barnhart first since he's in the building.
How you know he got something to say to that?
He might not.
He might
I
not,
just
right.
asked, did he?
I always got something to say.
Oh.
Okay. All right.
My mouth
Okay.
always got to
Okay.
You ready to go?
Yes.
Good evening, everyone. Martez Barnhart, Citizen Association President. I just got two things. I'm gonna be very quick. I just like to know what is the follow-up with UCAP and their process. That was one thing. Economic development. Anybody got any insight about that?
With UCAP?
Yep.
Okay. I have not heard anything. I think it was like before Christmas is the last time that I really talked to anybody, and that was done through the CDC. They had called because they had heard it was supposed to have been a meeting the first part of December. It didn't materialize. So I have not reached out to them. I can get on the line and try to contact Ms. Jameson and see if we can get some word going forward for the meeting coming up. I have not heard a thing from them per se.
Okay.
Not a thing.
And also, just a follow-up, what is the status from the mayor and council about the surveys that were turned in like 4 months ago?
Okay. Now on that one, you remember they took it to make a copy. You know it never did circulate back to me. Can you please get me a copy of that?
Okay.
Okay. I need that.
Only other thing is, we would like to see if the mayor and council would be interested in starting a program I know I talked to Chief more about a program that he wanted to roll out with the youth. And I think this would probably be another good thing to coincide with that. If you look at what's going on right now in our government, we have a lot of people that's getting up in age. What I mean by that is we're not getting no younger. None of us are getting any younger, okay? So with that being said, you know, if you look in your churches, you look in your businesses, or you look in your family businesses, they're always looking for youth to come in to help, you know, lead or continue on the legacy or what all that's going on. So I think we need to start some kind of incentive program to get youth involved with how our town has been governed and how does it work. Now, I know in the past you guys have had something such as like little mayors or little councilmen or whatever that is. Yeah, I think we need to kind of, you know, enhance that by really getting qualified and educated folks in here to teach our youth how to run government, the laws of municipality, and how does it work, and really do something that's going to be fun and do something that's going to put some money in their pocket to encourage them to really get involved, because these seats are empty and they shouldn't be like this. Councilwoman White is the youngest member on the board. I think that she would be a good person to help out with any project that's rolled out to attract more youth. Not saying that nobody else can't, but I just think that youth attracts youth. And I think we should all help out in some kind of way in making sure that that get done. I mean, we don't have no one that's going to take these spots. Right. I mean, when it comes down to election, you barely have people that want to come out and vote. You know what I mean? So our town is not growing. It's stagnated or it's dying off. So we really got to get the youth involved, our Hispanic youth. You know, we need to get us some translators in here, or somebody that can speak good English from the Hispanic community so we can really get them involved. This is something that really, I mean, we talk about a lot of other stuff as far as public works and the police department and things like that, but if we don't do something to get this government, you know, moving, or somebody to come in to, you know, take the reins, it won't be a government. You know what I mean? So I think that's something that, along with planning for cookouts and events and stuff like that, we need to put on the top of our priority list as far as getting some kind of programs for the youth. Like I said, Chief Moore and I talked about a program for youth, for getting them involved with the town, and I think that's something that we can go ahead and kind of, you know, merge with that. Just to get the people, the youth involved, and get the people knowing that this is something that the town is really trying to do to help the community grow.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
Do the kids in the town, is Fairmount Heights High School their feeder school? That's where they go?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm just start there, but
Yeah.
the kids, it's okay. So are they teaching
Flowers.
government in middle school and high school?
Yes.
That's where we start. That's where we start.
They are.
We reach out to those government students, and
That's
we
good.
bring them in and we get them involved.
That's
Right.
That's a good one.
They have students.
Oh, yeah.
We got the teacher right here, let's go.
I'm just saying. No,
Yeah, it's,
Oh, you done? I'm sorry. So, I'm gonna take my hat off for a minute, put it back on at the same time. Ms. Barnhart, I totally agree. We're missing programs, but I want to say this because you started out with passing information on, and in terms of content, to the chief's question and what they're required to learn on various different levels. And mind you, I'm special education, so When it comes to content, the norm right now is they have had in their past quarter learn about the rites of passage. The rites of passage and the rites of passage and milestones.
Okay.
Milestones in your life.
Right.
Difficult. Difficult. A birthday or
Right.
can't think. You know, and you have to get, kind of sort of guide, well, what about this and what about that? The transition from that is the freedom of speech. That's where we are now. Understanding what you can say.
Right.
The Constitution. What? You know, just the Constitution and freedom of speech. That's what we're studying. And knowing when you can censor and not censor, just the mere use of words, you know, in terms of leadership. So, you know, they need guidance. But I totally agree because some of those same students on the high school level, that's why I still don't leave the middle school out, because they're transitioning into high school, especially 8th grade.
Right.
And then, you know, it's a different thing with elementary school, but there is a transition into, and they need help too, because they are doing a lot. Do you hear me what I say? And I report, they're doing a lot.
According to the crime statistics, middle schools where we're losing kids.
Yes.
So that's exactly what we need to start grappling, because that's what we're losing them at 13, 14.
Right.
Before they even make it.
They have nothing to
Most of them
do.
don't make it to high school now because they're already caught up. Already in the system, already in the
Yeah,
So
that's true.
That's probably what we do need to start at middle school level.
Where is your Board of Education
Yeah.
representative?
Okay.
Board of Education.
Board of
Education. Who won? Sorry.
This hopefully that, you know, this ain't another thing that's swept under the rug, that we
I
can
don't think
actually
so.
move forward on that, because we're not promised to be here forever.
Yeah.
And we need some folks that's gonna go ahead and step up and step in and go ahead and keep this thing going.
Yeah.
So that's all I have. Yes, ma'am.
I told the chief that I'm encouraged by it, so I'm not boasting, no, we should. My granddaughter is bilingual.
Okay.
She graduated from Mr. Columbia. She has a master's degree from Morgan. She teaches at Crossland High School. And so I'm going to contact you back. Her brother, I've talked to Mayor about it. Her brother graduated
They can't
from
hear you.
Morgan.
They cannot hear Ms.
Oh, okay, well, I'm just talking, okay. Her brother graduated from Morgan, and
They
he
still
works
say they
with Dr. Green in
Okay.
the School of Architecture.
See, she would have to come to this mic. Yeah, she would have to come to the mic.
So-
But that's what I'm gonna refer them to. I'm gonna.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll table this and
Right.
talk about it later, so Mr.
Yeah.
Roman,
Yeah.
so they can't hear.
Be mindful of those community service hours as well, Mr. Barnhart.
Right.
Just that can create initial
That's good.
involvement.
Okay.
And this,
All right.
and this, before he gets down real quick, and this is a part of the conversation that him and I have had in reference to the youth during the summer months. We're going to put together a men's mentoring program for the youth here in the town. Where we're going to create different outings for the kids,
Yeah.
put them in different environments,
Right.
seeing positive black men, Hispanic men, whoever wants to be involved, and know 'em. So they'll understand that we came from these same neighborhoods, these same streets. Perfect examples. He grew up here. I grew up in the Forestville area, and we are here trying to feed back into this community. But this is something that we already have had a preliminary conversation about during the summer, where we take them out of this environment, take them up somewhere. They learn how to fish. They learn day-to-day living skills, how to not hunt, but how to survive outdoors.
Right.
But it's time away from computers, video games, having conversations, teaching them life skills and life lessons. And when we have the conversations, it's not going to be all good conversations, because they have to know where we came from. It wasn't an easy path, but they can make it to the next level if they just stay focused with it. So just know that we are already working on that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I make one
think
last
that's
comment to your point about, I'm sorry, Madam Mayor, just to share. Councilmember White, I shared this before with Councilmember Stewart, I think, and maybe one or two other people. Councilmember White, yes, is young. Councilmember White is the youngest of us. I think I would like to check the stats, because I believe that Councilmember White, I know for a fact that she got scholarship. She was awarded scholarship money. I think she's the youngest female that's ever won an election.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but yeah, maybe so.
And also, she's the youngest, so I'm saying, again, with the certificates and whatever, I mean, I think we should, commend her something. Former
Women.
council member Jackson was
The
our youngest male.
Right.
But I think we have now our youngest female. Just wanted to point that out because you brought it to my
Okay.
attention.
That's good, so keep that in mind too for Women's History. So, we can notate that.
It's a
for Women's
surprise. She didn't hear me, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, well, see, too late now because you did it on public, yeah.
All right, thank you.
But thank you, Mr. Barnhart. But I think that's an excellent idea because, it's been so long since we really had an organization working with them. I think the last major one was called the Circle of Success. And with that program, it was beautiful. It was two younger ladies that were running it. They did a wonderful job. They were taking them all down to Smithsonian, just doing all kind of good things. We could not get the parents to pull in. And so they got worn out and they stopped. But it's good, but people have to be dedicated and come forward because after all, it's your kid and you're raising up a generation here. So, I hope it can work.
Right.
I think it's a good idea for you and the chief to start there because sometimes with men's groups, you can get it off of the ground and start it with that. And, do a trip where they go up in the mountains or whatever. Right. Go hiking, go fishing, go whatever. Show them there's another side to life. Than just being around here.
Chief, I don't speak outside. So.
Oh, yeah. Well, see, that leaves you out right there. Okay.
I already got the backup.
Yeah. Okay.
All I'm thinking about is lions,
Okay.
tigers, and bears.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Thank you.
That sounds good. Thank you. Okay. All right. Okay, so if you could get Ms. Syfax and you could open up the mic to her.
Yes.
Okay, I'd like to congratulate whoever made sure that, by and large, we could hear this Zoom meeting. It really went well, and it looks like this meeting is going to be a lot shorter than the one yesterday. And I think that has a lot to do with it. What I wanted to point out, I had mentioned the idea of coupling getting residents to use the $60,000 grants to improve their property, combining that with code enforcement. There are just a lot of structures here that absolutely violate the code, and I think we need to step up our code enforcement efforts to cite these people and assist them in getting the funding that they need to correct the problems that appears of their property. So I just hope that over the next few months, we can organize our code enforcement organization to get the best use out of the funds that are available. Like my neighbor across the street, he has a great big garage in the back that's leaning over. That's dangerous. Somebody can get hurt. And he really is eligible for that, some part of that $60,000 grant. And people like that are sort of afraid of doing paperwork and stuff just need to be encouraged. And they're going to end up with a property that's worth a lot more and their neighbors much more happier. And in closing, I would just like to comment on the fact that those surveys that so many of our residents expressed their concern about certain economic development activities in the town just being ignored. I just want to make anybody listening aware of the fact that they are being ignored, and we just got to do something about that too. But I really hope that we can do something about the code enforcement. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Barnhart, would you please get me a copy of those surveys, please? Just one copy I need. Okay, thank you, Ms. Safek. Okay, is there anyone else on the line there, Ms. Spann? Okay.
Only thing I saw was just a comment that Kim Gladden put in the chat concerning our new governor. And she dropped in here a link from WUSA Channel 9 concerning Governor Westmore, and he had a state address concerning the service year for high school graduates.
Okay.
And she thought that it would mirror what Mr. Barnhart was talking about. So
Oh.
we're not going to go with that.
Okay,
I'm sending it out now to Mr. Barnhart.
okay. All right, tell her thank you. Okay, so if that is everyone that was on the line, and we have everyone that was in the building, I think we've been well served this evening. We've gotten a lot of information. If there are no additional items at this time, I'll accept the motion for adjournment.
I move the adjournment.
I get a second on that? Can I get a second on that?
Second.
Councilmember Barnhart? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. We are adjourned at 9:20.
Mr. Barnhart?
Chief.